Everyone thinks good web design is expensive. They're wrong. This website, for example, is completely designed by a non-web designer, but it still looks professional and up-to-date. How? Because it uses modern design principles, but applies them with purpose instead of just chasing what's popular. Today, I'm sharing the latest design trends and how you can actually implement them yourself without fancy design skills or an insane budget. We're going to take your site from basic to beautiful. Hi, I'm Erin from SiteGround, and if you love handy business tips, you're in the right place. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you never miss any of our new videos. All right, let's dive into the trends and give your website the glow up it deserves. Visual depth. If you've updated to the latest iPhone operating system, you know that the biggest change is how the interface looks. Your whole phone is now using glass-like panels, blurred translucency, soft reflections, and layered depth, almost like frosted liquid glass floating above the background. And the result? UI feels dimensional again, not flat, more tactile, more atmospheric. We're seeing that same aesthetic move from mobile UI into websites. Designers are bringing back depth, layering, and more physical feel to their screen instead of the flat minimalism that dominated for years. So that's great for Apple and their big old budget, but how can the rest of us make it work for our digital designs? Here are a few simple ways to achieve this. Simply use gradients. These include smooth color transitions that can add dimension to backgrounds, buttons, or banners, making your design feel vibrant without being overwhelming. This doesn't have to be hard to implement either. For example, use your favorite on or offline design tool to make an image with a gradient of color. Then use it as a background on your website. It's an instant upgrade from plain Jane to modern and design forward. Then there's the glass effect and glass morphism. This involves semi-transparent panels with subtle blur and shadows that give the illusion of layered glass. It adds sophistication and focus to key elements. And there's a hack for this too. Simply take advantage of overlays, which most website builders offer. Add a photo or graphic to the background and then play with the overlay opacity to get a similar glass effect. Lastly, there's digital liquid or liquid glass. This treatment has fluid, flowing effects that can add a futuristic, dynamic touch, especially for headers, backgrounds, or product highlights. And guess what? There are easy workarounds for this too. Again, just use that design tool to add a liquid glass element to your previously created image. Upload it as a background to your website builder, and you've instantly got an elevated, professional design. Visual depth also plays an interesting role in the blending of photos with graphics. Instead of treating images as flat elements, this technique layers shapes or illustrations around and behind the subject to create the feeling of foreground, midground, and background. It's a simple way to add 3D-like dimension and make images feel more immersive. AI thankfully makes this super doable these days. For example, with the right ChatGPT prompt, you can instruct it to produce exactly what you're looking for. So you could tell it, I'd like to create an image that blends a photo of a person with a graphic. I want it to include a realistic image of a person jumping through an abstract shape, with gradient coloring in the background from blue to purple. And this is what it instantly gave me. It's perfection, right? It's worth noting here that for this kind of ChatGPT request, using precise prompts is paramount. With that in mind, we put together a whole video on how to craft the perfect prompt, so check it out in the links below. Lastly, there's depth of field. Borrowed from photography, this technique keeps your main subject or element in sharp focus while subtly blurring the background. You can see this idea at work in the other approaches we've already mentioned, like glass effects, liquid panels, and blended graphics, where blurring and focus help key elements stand out. Depth of field is an easy way to create hierarchy and guide attention, adding another layer of depth to your page without changing the layout itself. For example, a hero image could have a product crisp and clear in the foreground, while the background softly fades away, instantly making the design feel more immersive and dimensional. Minimalism and focus. Okay, there are of course websites that look super cool with tons of interesting graphic elements and animations, but they are, shall we say, a nightmare to navigate. You don't want that. Because one of the most effective ways to improve usability and keep visitors engaged is, in fact, through minimalism. A clean, focused design helps users understand your message quickly and take action. You can even pair this philosophy with visual depth to really upgrade your website design. Here are some practical ways to implement this minimalistic trend. First, let's go back to the idea of less is more. This means keeping only what's necessary on each page. Remove clutter, simplify menus, and focus on your core content. Don't go wild and crazy with images and icons and text. Just keep to the essentials. The next tip worth noting, negative space can totally be a positive. Give your content room to breathe. So as you lean into less is more, remember that white space around text and images actually improves readability and can create a more professional feel. Or try a text-only hero image. It's a bold move, but when done right and if it aligns with your brand and overall website design, it can be especially impactful. If you think you can pull it off, then try skipping those heavy, complex hero graphics and try a strong headline on a clean background. When one specific conversion is your main objective, then design every section with the user journey in mind. Make calls to action clear and visible and eliminate distractions that could pull users away from your goals. Landing pages are a great example of this kind of action-oriented clarity. We put together a video on how to make the perfect landing page, which has lots of great insights on how to focus on conversion. I'll leave the link below. Usability and accessibility. The reason why minimalist web designs work so well is simple. These kinds of websites are easy to use and navigate. You can go bananas over your web design, but if you don't prioritize usability and accessibility, well, then all that creative energy gets wasted. The idea is for your site to look good and work well so that visitors can navigate your pages, find what they need, and engage with your content, no matter their device or ability. So what does this look like in practice? 2 words to start: mobile first. Most visitors now browse on their phones, so designing for mobile first ensures your site looks and works great on small screens before scaling up to desktop. In practice, this means thinking in terms of vertical scrolling instead of wide horizontal layouts, using larger, touch-friendly buttons, keeping text readable without zooming, and placing your most important content near the top so it's immediately visible on a phone screen. Now, a good website builder will handle a lot of these adjustments automatically for you. So with the right site building partner, you can cross this trend off your list. Then there's accessible design. This has become a hot topic in recent years, and for good reason. Simple steps like readable fonts, sufficient color contrast, descriptive alt text for images, and clear navigation make your site usable for all people, including those who have disabilities. It's good for users and good for SEO. One main pillar of effective web design is speed optimization. We're talking lighter pages, optimized images, and efficient coding that reduces load times, making your site faster and more user-friendly. Because even if you designed the perfect homepage, if it takes more than 3 seconds to load, visitors will not wait to see your creation. By the way, we have a full video on how you can optimize WordPress website speed, so make sure to check it out as well. Now, a good web host, or a website builder from a good web host, can be a real ally in tackling these usability trends. With the SiteGround website builder, for example, mobile optimization and accessible web design are built in. Plus, you benefit from a super fast, efficient website. And all these other trends we're covering here today are totally doable too. I'll leave a link below so that you can give it a try. Okay, one last thought on usability and accessibility. When you prioritize them, you're not just following trends. You're creating a website that's functional, inclusive, and filled with good vibes. Bold personality. While clean layouts and minimalism are very on trend, that doesn't mean you need to be boring and forgettable. A splash bold personality helps your website stand out and makes your brand memorable. So this trend is really about embracing individuality and using design to communicate confidence. So if you're feeling a bit bold, then here are some ways to infuse that. First thing, bold and loud typography. Large, attention-grabbing fonts can convey your message instantly. So, for example, headlines don't have to be subtle. They can be the star of the page. If you're using a website builder, this kind of customization is usually pretty straightforward. Use the default font or select something different. Then bump up the font size to your liking. Another easy-to-implement trend is the use of vivid color. With it, you can purposefully highlight key sections, evoke emotion, and make your site visually memorable. An easy way to put this into practice is by color blocking your sections. You can make one section a vibrant turquoise and the following a bright purple meets blue. The contrast and splash of bold colors adds instant personality and flair. Brutalism is another particularly intriguing trend, and it brings the first 2 points in this trend together. Inspired by the architectural movement of the same name, brutalism is all about raw, unapologetic design with sharp edges, high contrast, and exposed structure. Online, it manifests in a similar way by breaking the polished feel and giving a sense of honesty and personality. This too is super easy to implement with a website builder. Think squared edges and corners, sans serif fonts, super oversized typefaces, bold colors with high contrasts, and limited images. The key for this overall trend is balance. Bold elements should enhance the user experience, not distract from it. Even simple changes, like enlarging a headline or adding a pop of color, can give your site a confident, modern vibe when done thoughtfully. So those are 4 simple design trends for 2026 that you can totally implement in your own site. While design tactics like these can often feel complicated and out of reach, the real secret is simply to embrace them and work with what you've got. With a little creativity and even less technical skills, the results can be quite astonishing. What you will need is a solid website builder in your court. And that's where the SiteGround website builder comes in. Everything we covered today is right at your fingertips, built in and easy to customize. Plus, you're backed by high-performance hosting, strong security, and excellent customer support. So your site doesn't just look good, but it runs smoothly, loads fast, and stays protected. All right, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more tips on building great websites. So go ahead, give these trends a try, and see how easy it is to upgrade your site. Your next level website is just a few clicks away. See you next time.